Okay, there you go. I had to up your volume a bit more because I think I accidentally messed up my settings. Okay, there you go. Okay.
I
Okay, I
see.
think we're good. I think we're good.
I see. How's your week been?
I've done a lot this week, not just on my
Nice.
game.
Uh-huh.
Like I've done a lot on my game, but I've done a lot on a lot of other things as well. And
Other things.
it's all related to development, so I'll be sharing about 4 things.
Oh, okay.
But I also finished up what I wanted to finish up for my game as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll share my screen now first.
Okay.
Okay, so let me see. Let me share the 1080 and 60 FPS, I guess.
Okay.
With 1080 and 720 and 60 FPS. Otherwise, might lag a bit. There you go. Okay. Okay. Where shall we start? Okay. Kylazar says, "Ooh, Chiny, big fan of yours."
Colors.
Uh, let's see. So actually, okay. So the first thing that I made, right,
Hmm.
is this thing called Chao monitor. So I actually had this experience with Pomodoro. I tried using it for my streams, and I realized that on one hand, while it is quite good, it has some downsides as well.
Right.
One of them being that the half an hour duration is too short. As you can see, this thing just started, right?
Yeah.
Chao monitor started. If you actually go to my stream, and I'm gonna go to my stream actually. I'm gonna go to my stream on my own stream.
Okay.
But I want to show you what I'm talking about. There's this thing here that says my work chunk was created, right? If I hit Control Alt square bracket, it will actually change. Still updating, but basically it will update. It will update immediately to Charles working. It's just lagging a bit behind because of the network.
Right.
Should have figured out a better way of showing this. But it shows how much time I've been working on, and then if I hit another key, it can actually put me into deep focus mode. And then that will actually change the icon and everything, and it will note the chat that I might not read the chat. So that's one of the main advantages of Pomodoro for me. I can have the excuse to not read chat when I'm actually concentrating very hard.
Ah.
The other good benefit of the Pomodoro is that it makes me aware, at least cognizant, of how much I'm actually working at one go. So it'll say how much I will be working non-stop. If I stop it, it will basically record that time chunk, save it into a file, which I can access later on, and it will basically tell me how much I've been working at each time and how basically when I take my breaks.
Right.
So that's a good way of analyzing how tired I will be after how long a period of time. So I've been experimenting with it, and initially it was a 30-minute recommended period, then it was 40, then 45. So 45 is where I'm hovering around.
Right.
And with that, I can actually work 9 hours a day without being tired.
Cool.
Previously, it was about 4 hours, then I'll be tired. But now I can work pretty much 9 hours without. Well, I mean, I'll be a bit tired at the end, but not very, like very little.
Right.
So
Right.
there is that. I coded the whole thing in Python using PyInput, and it's running in the background, and it uses notifications and stuff. And if you go to, let me see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. Work chunks. It actually records the number of minutes I work per chunk.
Right.
And then this way I can actually tally up how much I've actually worked, along with my activity watch, which actually takes into account how much I actually spend on each program.
Right.
So yeah, so it actually helps me with that. I've been using this very recently, but it's actually helped quite a bit. Some of the previous logs were cleared off, but yeah, these are the most recent ones. So that's the first thing I wanted to go through because it's actually why I was able to do a bunch of more work this time. So the next thing I want to go through is what I actually did this week for the game.
Okay.
So what I did was modifications to the core combat. If you see, right, the tongue actually acts very differently. If you can actually like dash and then attack, and the enemy will actually move along with your dash for that time period. So if you're actually dashing and you actually strike an enemy, the enemy will actually be parented to you slightly, like will move along with you for a slight duration, like 0.1 seconds.
Right.
And then after that, it will then at the force. And what that will be is that it will make it seem like the enemy is stuck there for like 0. Whatever seconds, and it will have much more of an impact. That's one of the things that you can do with that. The other thing is that I actually make the player invincible for brief duration to the thing he's touching, if he's dashing and hitting it. I'm not. It's quite hard to do, but basically it allows for edge cases where you'll move very close to the thing and you counter just at the right time and you won't get killed.
Right.
Yeah, so it allows for a lot of more close scenarios where like you might get hit, but you don't.
I don't quite follow. You'll be
so
invincible. How?
You won't. The thing that you're attacking will not be able to harm you for about 0.1 seconds.
I
if
see.
you're dashing towards it and attacking it at the same time. So, see that?
Ah, I see.
Yeah. So if you do that, then you can actually do things like get very close to the saw blades and hit them, and in effect, it will look something like for example, this enemy. It looks something like that. I actually hit the enemy. I actually got damaged in that round, but it didn't seem like it because it was like so fast. But it makes things much more exciting because they will take a lot more risks, and it's significantly easier to hit harmful objects away. The other thing that I did, and of course, like it's a lot more juicy. You can see the hit effect, you can see the sparks, and all this other stuff, and also the time slows down as well. For like 0.2 seconds, time will slow down.
When
and then
you hit
after
something?
0.2, yeah, when you hit something.
I see.
And also there's a screen shake that uses a numerical spring in the direction of what you hit. So if I hit like that, the screen will actually go towards that direction.
Nice.
And if I'm moving and hitting, it will be a very subtle effect, but it does, you can feel it quite well. So it can, as you can see, like I also made adjust sometimes timing stuff, so I made the game a lot faster in that regard.
Right.
But since there's a freeze, like there's a slowdown, the player can still kind of like process his actions, and that was the thing that was missing previously. The player couldn't process his actions if they're too fast, or if they're too slow, it becomes boring. So what I did was I ended up making it fast, but making it actually freeze when you're actually doing high action.
Yeah.
Like high intensity actions. Yeah.
Looks good. It's like all the impacts, all of the impact, you have like emphasized them really well. That's really cool.
I also started making more levels, so stuff like that, stuff like this one.
Hey, spikes, love them.
Yeah, gotta love spikes.
Yeah, I gotta love spikes.
Stuff like that, then like this. Then you can like get them to kind of hit the grenade at the fish if you're good enough, which I'm not apparently. So let me try that again. Oh, the thing is, like I was trying not to also gauge how long it will take me to make these kind of levels, and like just in general gauge how long the actual levels will be as well. I'm just gonna ignore this fish I'm being, which is probably Mr. Oh no. Oh wait, why did this pop up? Oops, sorry. But yeah, like at that point you just go through, and then after that there's a point on there. I'm just gonna try to speedrun through it. Oh, I just killed myself on that. Sorry, I swear that when I'm actually playing this, right, I never die on this stage. I don't know why I'm dying now. The horrors of live streaming.
Yeah, it happens, right? The moment there's pressure.
Okay, let me try that.
Things starts to go wrong.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, there you
go through here. Yeah, okay. Then we also have a final level, and I implemented back the destructible blocks. And also the destructible blocks, I made them act as interactables. So it's a lot more. It's hard to explain without an example. So I have an example prepared actually. So I come up here, right?
Yeah.
And I come down here, right? And then I trigger that, right? He will hit through two of them at the same time. Previously, with the destructible terrain, it's very hard to make it exact how much they will hit. But now, since it's working with the interactable system, they're just using the collider of the enemies and then seeing if it kind of like collides with that thing or like whether it encapsulates that thing. So basically, it makes it a lot easier to do custom stuff on the destructible terrain as well, if I need to in the future. And yeah, and that's basically it for the 2 levels that I did. but most of the time this week was actually spent on the tongue. I think about like 9 hours was spent just tweaking the tongue, trying to get maybe a few things hit at once. I was trying this thing where you could hit multiple things at once, but then I scrapped all of that.
Right.
But I have to say though that like this I'm pretty satisfied with this. Like there's a lot of small details. Like for example, if you're in the air and you hit, right, you'll reset your Y velocity.
Okay.
And it will make it so that you don't have gravity for a brief moment, but it will not affect your X velocity.
Right.
Stuff like that. So yeah, so it's like it works with your dash a lot better in that regard. Stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I did for my game. I also want to add a shockwave effect. So I've been looking into shaders. A shockwave effect.
Shockwave,
when I hit, when I hit other enemies. So I've actually been looking into shaders.
Right.
So I've been reading this book, the Book of Shaders, and I've been going through it. I've been studying how to write fragment shaders, basically.
Right.
I've also got this cool card deck called Pixel Spirit that I actually bought physically.
Okay.
It's actually this, on the front of the cards are images, and on the back are fragment shader code to tell you how they were made. And each one will introduce a new function that can be used in later cards.
That's pretty
cool. For example, like circle SDF, and later on it uses, like for example, this one uses a stroke function and a rectangle function.
Right.
That was introduced like in here.
And this is GLSL.
This is GLSL, correct?
Oh.
So, but you know, GLSL and HLSL not
quite similar.
Quite similar. Like just Vec2, Float2, just small minor differences. At least for me, at least when I'm starting out, right?
Alright, it does feel pretty similar, right? Even CG also.
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of like Godot uses his own shader language also, so but it's all kind of similar. It's all kind of like the same. The same guy who made this also made the Book of Shaders, which I've been going through, and it goes through some pretty advanced stuff. It's not finished yet, but what's there is enough to learn quite a bit. I haven't gone through the whole thing yet.
Right.
I've also been going through generative art, and this one I've actually gone through a few chapters of and actually tested every single example. I've been basically creating art using processing, and I've been trying to use that to try to make. Not yet. I haven't done it yet, but then the intention is I want to use the shaders to kind of make my game a bit prettier in some aspects.
Right.
Also, it's something I want to learn for a long time.
Right. Processing. That's a Java API, right?
Correct. But I have been using it in the P5.js version, which is a JavaScript version.
That's cool.
And that's the final thing I want to talk about, because let me just show you. So basically, I've been experimenting a lot, and before I go to the last thing, I think the thing that I want to emphasize is that I realized that working those long hours is okay if I offset it with stuff that I find relaxing, but I didn't really know what's that relaxing until I kind of messed around, and I realized that doing this kind of stuff is relaxing to me. Actually, like learning this kind of stuff is quite relaxing to me. It actually calms me down and actually gives me energy in some cases. If it gets too hard, then obviously not.
Right.
But an example is what I did today, which is basically, do you see this? Let me reload it.
Looks like a tweet. Is that a tweet?
Hit enter to generate something that chao clips would say.
Okay.
Resolve some creepy.
Oh, look at that!
It's actually what it's actually doing, right? Is today I wrote this today.
Right.
What it will do is it will actually take my entire tweet history. It will format it, put it into a file, grab the data, send it to a Markov chain, and use an AI to basically figure out like something that I might say.
Markov chain is something about probability, right?
Markov chains are basically like if word is in front of another word, then it can create a potential chain. That's basically it. And they can have weightages. That's the simple explanation of it. So there's several quotes, and like some quotes are like, let me read. Sorry for the massive app gains. Did this mock-up of Frogavania 3 Legend of the Pug. Digest humans to repair yourself. And I made a short game about chainsaw hits. Like they just generated those quotes. So I have a surprise actually for you. I actually downloaded your tweet data and I'm gonna set the name, and hopefully it will work.
Oh.
And oh. Okay, this is just wow. Okay, that's more wholesome than stuff that I've had so far. Well, actually, none of these are like suspicious in any way. This is quite.
What is this? What? Wait, what? Remember to let what?
Let us know when you let your friends into the office. I don't know what that's about. It'd be too depressing to share what I've made more changes based on distance from up to the
What?
closest light source merge if they're close
I
together.
don't
Oh,
get.
yeah. It's basically taking like stuff that you've written and like checking for probability, checking to see whether like you can match it up to other stuff you've written.
I
In
see.
some cases, right, in some rare cases, right, it can create stuff that is very very similar to what you write. But in order to do that, it
Yeah.
requires a Markov chain of a higher value.
Mm.
Unfortunately, so if I actually put a Markov chain at a lower value, right,
Yeah.
it'll just produce like even more nonsense. Like now the tail is no longer William on the West game. Baby steps. It will basically the number here is the number of words that have to be chained up together.
I see.
Yeah, and then it will just you put two is a walking pompadour. Dude.
Yeah, there was this one time where I was working on a game with John featuring a pompadour dude, but
Oh
we
damn,
yeah.
dude. Nice.
Yeah, we didn't finish it.
I don't know what this is, but yeah, I also did one for John, but the problem is that John mostly retweets, so
Yeah. John doesn't tweet much.
didn't have hey, it's you. Yeah, but like but it's mostly from a very small set.
Right.
But yeah, like this is what I've been basically doing in my spare time.
That's
Like in my
pretty
spare time,
fun,
I'll just
man.
make
That's
little
fun
like
stuff.
toys like this. Yeah, the so this is separate into like three scripts. One of the scripts is a tweet dumper that basically grabs all of your tweet data,
Right.
and then one of them formats all of it, and then this final one uses it in Markov chain. The thing about processing is that you can use it in a lot of different ways. You can actually use webcam input, and you can actually do facial recognition. So I can make it so that when I open my mouth, it will say something like in a voice of like something that I might say, something
I
like that.
see.
Yeah, so so that's what I've been doing. Let me think, is there anything else? But I did a lot of stuff this week, but like not necessarily all of it was like for my game.
Oh, that's fine,
but,
right? That's fine.
But
It's all
yeah,
fun
it's mostly
stuff.
like it's quite fun. But out of all the things I say, the most important one is the first one, the chao monitor.
Right.
So I'm gonna actually close now first. Because I think studying how I work and understanding what worked for me using Pomodoro and what didn't work for me using Pomodoro
Right.
is crucial to avoiding burnout while still being able to work at a reasonable pace. By
Right.
reasonable pace, I don't mean like 9 hours a day, which I was doing for a few days.
Right.
I mean more like 5 to 6. Because I'm saying 5 to 6 of like no rest, just constant work. So I
Right.
think for most people there'll be average amount, right?
I
Around that,
suppose like
yeah.
people say that most of the time we are only like productive for like about 4 hours a day.
Yeah, something like this. Shortly after this, I lied.
It's called Watercolor Galaxy.
Not much time to draw now, dude. Yeah, but basically that's what I've been doing. Also, let me show you something.
Yeah.
I've been also messing with. So I said I was doing the shader stuff, right? This is the script that I was testing everything in.
Oh.
So I've actually been doing a lot of research into generating shapes. So I actually found this thing that you might find interesting, which is called Shader Shop, I believe.
Shader Shop.
Yes, it's this tool that allows you to combine functions like this, and it will give you the formula for it.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I think if you had this earlier, there were some parts. I remember when you're doing
the UI, right?
Your UI, you had like some problems with like some interpolation stuff.
Yeah.
And this might have helped quite a bit.
That's very cool.
This is quite cool. I've been using this to basically mess around with like I've been trying to figure out how to learn shaders most effectively.
Right.
I think the best way is to set up a GLSL viewer, so that I can actually like see it like kind of like Shader Toy, if you heard about that.
Yeah.
Shader Toy is like, yeah, so something like that. And yeah, that's about it.
Brilliant. That's nice. It's very cool.
Give me like 1 minute to try to think. Because I remember, before I went live, I was like, I'm missing something. Like, I don't remember what it is.
I can't help but notice
Yeah?
like in your bookmark bar, right, you have some pretty interestingly named folders.
Yeah, that's been like that for years. Quite problematic when my students apparently see that.
I see.
Yeah. Quite problematic when you go to an interview with Unity and they see that.
I see.
Actually, no, I wasn't problematic. I just laughed. But yeah. Yeah, that's the you don't know it, but you just reminded me what was the last thing I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
I'm now creating this list of development links, which I'll paste in your chat.
Oh, thanks.
Just paste it here. So this thing is basically a bunch of links that I found very, very useful for my own development, particularly for like graphical stuff or like creative coding stuff. There's this one very interesting one called the Pocket Handbook of Image Processing Algorithms in C.
Right.
And somebody converted it over. It's basically how to do like different like graphical operations in C, then they put the processing up.
Very nice.
Yeah, and this is what I was this is the last thing I wanted to show, because what I'm doing right now is I'm actually curating a lot of stuff off this site. Then when I find it interesting enough, I'll actually add it to here. So I'm continuing to update this. Then eventually I'll write some script to basically like just update it automatically with stuff that I rate above a certain number.
Yep. That's very nice.
The one I would actually like to recommend is firstly Tiny Tools. You already know about this one, I think. But also this one, Kate Compton's development scenes.
Is she the one that does a lot of math?
No, not really. She does a lot of procedural generation stuff.
I see.
So she does a lot of like stuff for casual creators and stuff like what if a tool was like a kindergarten art teacher? Like how do you curate art using a AI basically? Tracery is like something for text generation and creating bots. I made a DigiPen bot using this actually. The president at the school president at the time had a weird way of like tweeting out his stuff. Not in direct messages, he'll like say some interesting things. So I made a bot that would like mimic how he talk.
You're talking about Claude. You're talking about Claude Cormier.
No. The Singaporean. There was a student council. Then
I see.
And then executive of generativity. How to make generators. I would recommend all of these. It's very, 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 very interesting.
Very cool.
If you are very interested in this stuff, each of them has about has a proper dissertation, which is hundreds of pages.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay,
thanks for the link,
done.
by the way. I will.
No problem.
You know what? I'm
sorry for ranting so much.
No. Thanks for sharing. I always look forward to this. Just a moment, eh? Let me bookmark this before I forget.
Okay.
Also, I should point out that by right it's supposed to be John, right, who's next, but John is not feeling well, so it's the two of us today. Yeah. So let me bookmark.
Yeah, I got a headache.
Yeah, John's got a headache.
Let me reply to some people in chat. Wow, this is awesome. Thank you, Vev. And Kylazor says exclamation mark big brain. I know I'm not big brain. I'm a small wrinkly raisin brain.
Just a moment while I prep my stuff.
Sure. Should I stop streaming first or?
It's fine. It's up to you.
Okay. I think I'll stop streaming first.
Okay.
Okay, let me drag you in. Yeah, but fun week.
Yeah, looks like I've done a lot of stuff. Okay. Hang on, what should I talk about? I didn't prepare anything. So I've released a alpha pre-alpha link to to the people in my Discord server, alright, and I've gotten quite a number of feedback. So I think I will go through like some of the feedback I have received. Oh hey Amanda, hello Amanda. Let me just bring up the game. One moment, eh? I think one of the issues, right, it's the word selection screen in my UI. Here. So I've been getting quite a number of feedback about how the scrolling doesn't feel quite right. So on the left, right, is the original version, the pre-alpha that I released. You can kind of see that when I drag, right, how do I put it? I drag it really fast and I let go. The container, the UI container comes to a stop really fast. So on PC it doesn't really feel all that weird, but when you
cut off the what is it?
Sorry? Testing.
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Sorry, you cut off just now.
Oh, I got cut off just now. I see.
What were you saying about
the UI?
The velocity, is it?
Yeah. So like if I were to drag really fast,
Hello?
I think people would expect.
Oh no.
Oh, hang on. Testing. I guess it's Discord, right?
Okay, yeah, it works now.
It works
For
now?
some reason, maybe it's the Discord. Yeah, probably the Discord. It works now.
Okay. Sorry about the technical issue. The issue with the pre-alpha version is that if the user is dragging really fast, the expectation is that the momentum should carry over and the container should keep moving, right? So I think the one that I released, it doesn't really work that well. It just stops really fast. So I've been doing some tweaking yesterday, and you can kind of scroll really fast now. Right, the momentum is getting carried over. So it's just one of these things about polishing up the UI that I'm working on. It's still not quite right. Like, there's some weird behavior in there that I will need to properly tweak. So a lot of this is just like polishing work. So that's one. Another thing that I have worked on is let me show you this. So I have also gotten feedback about how these binary blocks, right? I call them binary blocks because they alternate between two states, right? Like a transparent and solid. So players, like a couple of players have mentioned that they are quite punishing because as long as you're like overlapping the boxes when you jump, right? That particular overlapping will kill the player immediately, like on that frame. So if I do this, if I do something like this, right, I'll die immediately, right? Even though I'm like almost exiting the box itself. So I thought about like how to implement how to like fix this, right? And I feel like I will take a page from this room, like DISCROOM, this room, the game with like plenty of chainsaws, right?
Yeah, I played that game.
You played the game, nice. I've read that the collision detection that is lenient in the way that the saw can like phase through you for like a few frames before you actually take damage. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought
I actually wrote a tutorial on how to like do the disc room stuff in Unity for the disc room gem.
I see. In your YouTube channel?
Yeah.
I see. So yeah.
I think JW said that, yeah.
JW said that, right? Yeah. So I thought I would take a page from that. And so what happens now is if you're overlapping, right? If you know if when the blocks turn solid and you're overlapping it for like just 2 frames, you don't actually die immediately from it. You can just exit the box. Let me see. Right, something like that. Right, you don't die. Oops, sorry, I was inside. You don't die immediately.
It's basically like Coyote time but for blocks.
Yes, something like Coyote time but for blocks. Right, I'm actually overlapping, but I don't die now. As you can see. Let me try again. There. Okay. But there was a little bit of weirdness there, so I might have to tweak it.
That seems quite natural though to me. At least.
You think it's okay?
That's quite good.
That's great. So. Okay, yeah. So this is in contrast to
like some weirdness. Maybe you can cover it up with like particles or something.
Yeah, maybe. There's also one other thing. Like maybe if I want to make it better, right, I can try merging all of the colliders, so I don't have that weird issue from earlier where I end up hitting this block from the bottom. Right, there are a lot of blocks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So if I merge them, right, then I wouldn't have that weird issue where I kind of hit the box from the bottom. Yeah, but this is in contrast to this where just a tiny little bit of overlap will kill the player. Like see that? Yeah. So that's one of the things that I've gone about fixing. So as you can tell, right, I'm pretty much in the phase where I'm just doing like polishing and responding to feedback. So that's 2. There's more stuff. Another thing is refinement of the levels. So let me see. So I'm also doing stuff like refining the levels. As you can see, right, there's a difference between this level and this level. The one on the left is more demanding when it comes to how fast you have to jump, right? Because when you land on this platform, right, there's only like 2 tile width for you to quickly react and do the next jump. So I have people also saying that like they get stuck for a bit in World 2, which is not my intention because World 2 is like pretty early in the game, right? So I really don't want them to get stuck so soon. So I'm going about like tweaking some of the levels. So it's easier for players to respond now, right, as they jump onto the platform compared to this version. Compared to this version where they have to like jump really fast. Yeah, but it's, I'm not saying that I don't want like levels like this anymore, but I feel like levels like this on the left, right, probably should come a little bit later instead of in World 2. Yeah, that's one thing.
Makes sense.
What else? I have also worked on new levels. So there's this level that there's this level, right? It's all about timing your jump, and you have to go upwards. And personally, I find this to be pretty easy, right? Going upwards is easy. Like sometime this week, I realized that hey, I can, kind of make new levels that is like almost exactly like this one, but if I add a small twist, right, it can feel really different. So and that difference is if I were to spawn the player right at the top of the level rather than at the bottom, the timing is completely changed at this point. So let me see what's the room number.
I experienced the exact same thing for my game as well.
Yeah, it's nice, right?
Like a thing where like I had it like going like the same thing. I was going upwards and going downwards was completely different.
Yeah, I think it's nice that we can like make use of just tiny tweaks, right, to make the game like feel significantly different. So, oops, just killed myself right there. So, like something like this. Take a look at this one. So you can see that I have these alternating blocks, right? It's almost like the same. The idea is the same as the previous level, but the idea is you instead of going up, which is easy, you have to go down. So it works like this. Oh crap! Oh, almost like okay.
Ooh,
right, like that.
Seems very hard, yeah.
and yet it's like pretty much the same concept. Oh my god! I don't know why I did that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yours is way more punishing than, for example, mine, because mine I can dash
Mm.
I can change direction. I guess since you can only change to horizontal movement,
Yeah.
it makes it a lot harder, which is really cool.
There's one more level that I can show you. 67. I've always wanted to make a level that loops around on itself, so it's one circle. Right, and this level makes use of the new enemy, which I've been wanting to do. So it goes like this. Again, right, you can kind of see going upwards. Going upwards is really easy, but then you'll find yourself needing to come back down. This one, right? Suddenly it feels very different. You have to be careful. Oops.
Yeah.
You have to be careful. Oh no, I'm dead. Anyways.
Oh.
Anyways, you get the idea.
Yeah.
And I think maybe I can go through just a few more of the feedback that I've gotten. there's still quite a number of feedback that I have yet to address, and I look forward to working on them very soon. I just need to load up Trello. Oh my
Can
god.
I ask, how do you
Yes.
come up with like level ideas? Like,
How do I come up with
because
level
that's something that
ideas?
I have been having trouble with.
Oh,
Yeah.
I I I always have a notebook with me, so sometimes I just scribble it on paper. So like because
Mm-hmm.
ideas don't come to you when you're like sitting in front of a computer and working, right? It comes to you like
Yeah, yeah.
in bits and pieces throughout the day. So I usually have a notebook to scribble down ideas.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah, and that's just one thing, right? Like I also have to like give a shout out to quite a number of people on my stream who's been giving me ideas as well, right? Like Lucius, like Calazor, DBS Oatmeal, Private Orange, right? They have all like given me ideas on like how to start off a new level, right? Something like that. Like Lucius have like
I see.
gave me like a prompt, right? He will say like, oh, what if it's a level where you just keep falling, or what if it's a level where you hide items behind a binary block? So like this level was made because Lucius said, what if you hide something behind the blocks, right? So it's nice like when people are around, they give
Okay.
you ideas, right? And then you'd be like, oh, okay, that's a nice idea. Let me
Yeah.
expand upon that. Yeah. So
I see, I see.
that's how this came about. Also, I think like when I feel like I have a lack of content, I will look at my older levels and then I'll be like, does this level need an easier version of it, like as an introductory level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, or, or,
Yeah.
or can I do another spin on this same level and make it harder? So that means
Right.
like that which is exactly what we talk about, right? Like this one, going up is easy, right?
Yeah.
But then coming down is so hard, and it's like almost the same level idea, same level design. It's just that that one tiny change in position of where the player is make the challenge very different. Yeah. So it's
Right.
all like trying to identify
Because
like what are the stuff you can do to put a spin on existing levels.
yeah, the reason I asked is because like I was wondering like how many like right now how many hours is the game, because you noted earlier that like you were worried about that, right? Like the length of it time wise.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely worried about the like how much play hours this game can offer. At the
Yeah.
moment, I'm trying to aim for 99 levels, and then once the 99 level is done, right, I will look to designing remixes for all of the existing levels, for almost all of them, right, to add the
I
element of time
see.
pressure which is missing, right. Also, say Devious Oatmeal, right? A shout out to Devious Oatmeal has given me an idea about like how to go about increasing, say, retention. So like
Mm-hmm.
at the moment, right, all of my levels I've kind of made the collection of collectibles very lenient. I wanted to make like a less punishing game compared to my previous one, which is like Serious Scramblers. So
Yeah.
in this game, you do not have to collect all of the collectibles in one go.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of collect them in multiple runs, right? So uh,
Right.
all
Right.
of these collectibles here, right, they only display the outline. They are not filled, so it means that they have been collected previously, and it's possible for you to just
Oh.
collect like the diamonds on the right, and then enter the door, and then later on, right, you come back to this same level again and collect the stuff on the left.
Alright.
So you can do that, yes, but I've gotten the feedback that if the player can collect everything in one go, right, which is more difficult, then I can reward them with something else, right? Like I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
some bragging rights, like put a star here or something. Yeah, and that would give that could possibly give the players a reason to replay the levels. Yeah, it's something like the bandit in Super Meat Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like more reasons for players to go back and replay the levels, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was concerned about mine basically.
Concerned about yours?
Sorry, let you finish first.
No, it's fine. It's
About
fine.
the level, like basically, like it's like my game, I think is gonna be about. I'm aiming for about 3 to 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
So, I calculated it out, and the thing is, depending on how long the levels will be, I will probably run around 50 levels. In my case, my levels are. I don't think I can do 100 because they're quite big. That's the thing.
Right.
Um, and like I wanted to, but the thing is, even though they're quite big, right? I feel like at the moment the player goes through the levels as fast as they go through your levels, if that makes sense, which is a problem for
Oh.
my game because then
Right.
I'll near 50, so I have even less. So like I was thinking I was basically thinking of making it either slightly harder or like figuring out some way to do player retention as well.
Hmm. I have a
Um,
question.
and I would think I should
Yeah.
like nail that down before I actually continue as well.
Right. But the levels you're making, at the moment they are early levels, right? Tutorial levels and such. Are they?
Right now the levels that I'm making are just mostly to test out some of the mechanics. But I'm moving now, like given like starting this week, well, starting last week, I've
Hmm.
actually moved into trying to make levels that can potentially be in the actual game.
I
Um,
see.
and and the only thing missing is like the exit, for which for some reason I haven't placed. But otherwise, it's an actual level without the pretty graphics and everything.
Right.
But the core gameplay is supposed to be like that. I'm just not sure if like that's gonna be, because I think it's definitely fun.
Hmm.
I just am not sure if it's gonna be long enough. That's my main concern.
Right. If you're saying that players can blow through them very quickly, could it be an issue with difficulty? Like it's too easy?
Oh no, as in like that's the thing. Like if like it's easy to get through. Like sorry, it's fast to get through, but it's not easy to get through. If that makes sense. So I'm trying to kind of like figure out in my head. I guess I should be figuring out through playtesting,
Right.
which I'm gonna do soon. But right for the moment, I'm trying to figure it out in my head. Like how difficult should I basically make it? Like should I make
Right.
it like Super Meat Boy difficult? Because Super Meat Boy, right? Even though it had that level of difficulty, right? Where
Hmm.
like sometimes you spend an hour on a level, and 99 levels as well.
Right.
When I looked into it,
Right. But
quite
I
a lot
think
of levels, and they're very huge.
we kind of have to keep in mind that they spent like what two years
Much
on it,
work
right?
as well. I
Right.
think like 2-3 years, yeah.
2-3 years, right? Like, it's a few years of work.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I think we
that's
have to
true
keep
as
that in
well.
mind as well. I think your target platform is PC, right?
Yeah, PC mainly.
I think it's entirely okay for PC games to be shorter. In it, like 2 hours could be enough.
Yeah, the thing is, I was trying to aim for replayability. So
Hmm.
maybe like having high scores and all that will be enough to actually like high scores per level basically. Will basically be good enough, and each thing will be a factor. For example, if you get a hostage, you're at certain points. If you complete it within a certain amount of time, you get a certain number of points, and it will give you a ranking at the end.
Right.
And I was thinking of just having it so that you could compete against other players for that ranking, and I thought that might be actually enough, but I wasn't sure. What do you think about that?
I think that is fine. I think that's fine. I personally, I mean, if your game is a premium title, then I wouldn't be too concerned with the length of the game, right? I think if the play experience is good, if it hooks the player, if it gives the player a good impression after they finish playing the thing, I think then you have pretty much achieved what you set out to do already. Like in my case, I'm so concerned with the duration is because my monetization is entirely through the ads.
Oh yeah, that's
So
true.
if it's something that player can finish in, say like half an hour to 1 hour, right? Then in terms of monetization, I'm making no money at all.
I see. I
Yeah,
see. I
yeah.
see. That
But
makes
if it's
sense.
a
Yeah.
premium title, right, then you kind of can just focus on crafting this nice gameplay experience without worrying about like the stuff that I'm worrying about trying to extend the life of the game.
That does make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to like try to plan out like how much content I can build within a week, and then try and use it to plan out like future the future plans for the content. Like how much can I actually do within maybe a year, and like what I can actually get done within a year. So that's actually what I'm trying to figure out right now, and I'm doing that by trying to see how fast I can actually make some of the levels.
Right.
At least levels that meet a certain quality standard.
Oh, is there like some games that you can look to for reference? What's that? What's that gorilla game? With this like very musical presentation.
Ape Out.
Sorry. Sorry.
Ape Out.
Sorry, I can't.
Ape Out.
Ape Out, right? Ape Out, right?
Ape Out.
Ape Out, right? APEOET, right? Ape Out. Ape Out is pretty short, right? Am I right?
It's like, yeah, it's like 2-3 hours.
2-3 hours. Yeah, it's fairly short, but it's a very nicely crafted
They
game.
use like procedural generation for some of it though. Like,
Oh, they
for
did?
a bunch of it.
Oh, I
actually.
didn't realize.
They did.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, but done in a way that like you don't really realize it. Yeah.
Right.
They use
Right.
very predefined patterns for it.
Right.
So yeah, yeah. I guess I'm just not really that clear on this particular issue.
I guess it
But-
will
but
become
yeah,
clearer once you like have a few more levels. Right. So then you have
And
a
once I
better
start
grasp.
playtesting them,
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
You haven't really taken into account how many times your players restart a level, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. I haven't actually been able to playtest that much yet, so I haven't been able to find out whether they will restart it a lot, or a little bit, or I can't gauge from my experience with the game, obviously, because I'm the developer.
Yeah, that is true. There's also stuff like I think like levels you make can vary a lot in terms of its challenge, the challenge that it provides, right? Like in my case, the levels in Serious Scramblers, the difficulty for the levels, like they vary so widely that I can't really say that it's an average duration for each level, because the levels towards the end, right, are
I see.
like 10-20 times harder than the levels in the beginning. So I think that's also
I
something we have
see.
to take into consideration. Which is why I was asking, right? Like, is the level you're making like representative of like the early game, or is it like late game or
Oh.
something? Yeah.
This one, the levels I'm making right now are representative of middle.
Middle.
In the middle.
Right.
Because even like they're quite challenging, and you can pull off. If you're trying to speedrun it, if you saw the Twitter video I posted up, that's just like a speedrun of like one of the levels. And in order to do the speedrun, you have to do some quite crazy stuff like in the video.
Which is
You
not
have to
something.
dash directly into spikes and stuff like that.
Right. It's not something that a first-time player will do, right?
Yeah, that'll be pretty much impossible for a first-time player.
Right.
So I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Just gotta measure out how much replayability that will get me. And I guess that makes it clear what I'm gonna do next week. Sorry, that's the reason why I brought it up, because I wanted to kind of figure out. I think I'm actually gonna make the scoring system next week and try to release it, and try to, because I apparently, according to Jofa, you can upload to Steam quite easily for alpha testing, so you can get Steam leaderboards in early,
Right.
and then you can just have them tested through Steam. It will auto update, and then they can just compete even in this early alpha state. So I have to pay the submission fee.
You're not talking about like for distribution, right? It's just using the leaderboard support.
Leaderboard support, and like primarily for like kind of like for testing out, like so that people can play test it. Yeah.
Right. So you'll be
And
using
so
it
that
to
they can
distribute
update,
your
like,
keys
through
as well.
Steam. Yeah.
I see.
I don't know if that's a good idea, because then that won't sync up with itch.io. But
Oh
in this
yeah.
case, I might not have.
Hmm.
I might have to find like. Just the other question I want to ask. I want to ask if you had any experience with like external leaderboard support.
No, I have no experience with it. I've not like. I
I
mean,
see.
I guess in the past I used like third-party support for leaderboards, but those are for like
Mm-hmm.
web games, Flash games and stuff. Yeah.
Like Mochi games, like they have
Yeah,
like
Mochi
this
ads have
leaderboard.
one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Then
yeah, yeah.
there was another
That was
one
a
I
while
forgot.
ago.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But
Yeah.
they're all dead
Sorry so
now.
much for like
Uh-huh.
sorry so much for like interrupting you in the middle of your like.
No, don't worry, don't worry.
very
Like
good.
I always love talking about stuff like this. No worries, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh okay, where was I? This one, right? Yes. So I just want to
Yeah.
address a few more things. Yeah, there's this one silly thing, right, that I should have done, but I did not. Again, these are like stuff related to polish of the UI. Say for instance, like we have like pretty fat fingers, right? And as we swipe on our phone, it's possible that we might accidentally press
Yeah.
on the button. But I
Right.
have like quite carelessly, right, make it such that the moment you click down on it, right, you immediately go to the next. You immediately transit to the level selection. So I should not have done that.
I see.
Yeah, I should have. First thing I should have done. What I should have done is it should only trigger on release, and if I were dragging it, right, it should like cancel out this like the pressing of the button. So if I accidentally
Makes
press the
sense.
button, but then I drag it, right, it should cancel out that action. Yeah. So it should
Makes
not trigger the button when I release or something like that. Right? Because if I were to drag it, then the intention of the player is that I want to scroll through this
Yeah.
UI, right? Not that I want to touch the button. Yeah. So stuff like this I should have paid more attention to, but I didn't. So playtesters have been pointing it out to me. So I will be working on them.
I see.
Another thing with usability is a level selection. Level selection back button. Wow, why did I write it like that? Oh, make it obvious, right? So, one thing that has been pointed out to me is like once you beat all of the level, what the game does is it throws you back into this level selection, and for one tester, right, like for a moment, he wasn't sure what he's supposed to do, because like all of this level has been completed, and he didn't know what he needs to do. It's only after some time that he realized he needs to click on this back button. So I think
it is after he completed all the levels.
yeah, it's like if I were to say beat the levels here. What the?
Oh no!
This is new to me.
No!
Hang on.
Binary.
It must be because I
You
did something
should-
to the binary
yeah,
blocks
you
last night.
You should probably screenshot it or something.
Yeah, I'm bringing out my snipping tool right now. What the?
No.
Okay, that's good. It's because I was working on the binary block last night and then I didn't test it enough, I guess.
Yeah.
I broke. Okay, but in in any case, oh man, I have to restart this. Oh no, it's
I get what
frozen.
you're saying about that. Yeah.
I got what I'm saying about the level selection, right? Yeah. So once you
Yeah.
go back to level selection, I should do something about making the back button a bit more obvious. Like maybe it will shake a bit, right? Do some animation, something like that.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Another issue that is all too
Or you could
often.
just like,
Yeah?
or you could like have another button that like goes to the next world immediately.
Another
once you finish
button
the
that
world.
goes to next world immediately. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Or
that's another
or I just
option, I
kick them
guess.
straight to world selection, right?
Or like you could, if you're gonna kick them to straight to world selection, I would recommend doing an animation first showing that the thing was completed, because normally there will be an animation, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You are right.
Then I will kick them out after that.
That's true. I've been told that my stream is lagging quite a bit. Yeah, I realized it too. I don't know why this is happening.
The Discord is also like cutting out sometimes.
Oh man, I am so sorry. Let me
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
let me turn off a few things. Goodness. Okay. Is it okay now? Is it better now?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Okay. So, oh, that was weird. Anyways, Where was I? Where was I? I need to. Oh yeah, well, this. You see, that's the problem with not having the actual device. Some of my UI is actually
Mm-hmm.
blocked. It's actually obstructed on iPhone X. Yeah.
Oh, because the line is it? Because
No,
the
like that
iPhone
that
line.
camera at the top. Right, there's
Oh, the
this.
cam. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Damn, I have to fix that as well.
I
Yeah.
ran into the same problem when I was like developing a mobile game also.
That's the thing,
It's a
right?
pain.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
a huge
pain.
pain.
It's a pain. I don't have an iPhone X. I mean, I guess I can run the game on an emulator and see how it looks, right? But
Yeah.
the performance really sucks on the emulator. So uh,
I mean, I guess at least you can see the whether it's obstructed or.
yeah, I guess so. I guess I can test it at say 5 frames per second, I suppose. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like the main thing is the UI, right?
Main thing is the main thing is the UI. You're right. You're right. Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll just talk about one last issue that I will fix, which is this one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I have levels where it's just like you have to slide along a wall, and then below the wall,
Mm-hmm.
right, there's like ceiling spikes,
Yeah.
and it's an issue because if you keep sliding, right, you will end up touching the spike and die. So
Yep.
I need to do something about this as well. I need to make it more lenient, more forgiving.
I also need to do something about this.
Yeah.
I have the same problem.
Yeah.
So far, what I've been doing is I'm just removing the corner near the corners.
If you're removing the corners, I mean that's
I'm
fine,
removing
right?
the spikes near the corners. Yeah.
I see. I guess that's fine as well. Yeah. But yeah. I guess that's about it. So I fixed a few things. I've added some levels, and I've already talked about what I will be implementing next. So that's it. That's it.
Someone says chiny is evil confirmed.
Oh no, why? It's just
I have no
spikes.
idea. It's just spikes.
Yeah. Shall we do a recap?
Sure, sure. So for my side, actually, the other thing that I didn't mention is that for me, I also did a bunch of. Actually, most of my time spent this week was actually on bug fixing. Now that I think about it,
Ah.
like bug fixing and the tongue hit. But I fixed a lot of bugs this week, but none of them is like very interesting. So yeah,
What
it's
kind
just
of
bug
bugs?
fixing. There was one bug which was exactly the same bug as the one where there'll be a spike and then there'll be a wall behind it and then you
Yeah.
bounce off the wall instead of the spike.
Yeah,
I had the
yeah,
same problem for the
yeah.
same reason. And then like Masan was also in the chat. I was telling her that like this is the exact same problem that Chini had. Yeah. But yeah, there's stuff like that, and also some physics problems.
Right.
So is that, and then I also did some other stuff on shaders, Markov chains, and trying to analyze how I work so that I can work more efficiently. Next week, I will try to actually put the game. Actually, I don't know how hard it is to put a game on Steam, like just for beta testing. I have to look into it. But the
I
goal is
think
another
yeah.
2 levels. Yeah,
Sorry, your goal is another 2 levels. Right.
another 2 levels, and I want to try to make. Uh, Actually, yeah, that's just it. I think for this week, it's just another 2 levels. But I want to pretty up at least one of the levels. Try and make it a full thing. Make
Like a
sure there's
vertical
exits.
slice.
Make sure, yeah. Make sure that you can go from level to level. Everything like that. I try to just basically make 2 levels and then try to make it so that you can just go through all of the levels seamlessly. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
uploading the build to Steam should be fine because like they provide some command line tool for you to run and
Yeah,
upload
but
it pretty
like,
quickly. Yeah.
is it like you have like serious scrambles on Steam? So
Yeah.
how like do you use that for alpha testing or beta testing or like
Yeah,
do
I
you
use
only
it
do it at
for
the
beta tests. Uh and in fact you have the option of disabling the keys after a certain point in time. Like if you want to do that. But for me I just give them I give all my testers the keys for free.
right?
Yeah, but the option is there
Okay,
if you want to disable the keys after a certain
I
time.
see. I
Mm.
think I'm just going to yeah, I think I'm just going to set it up maybe today actually.
Mm.
Obviously not on stream, but I'll try to set it up today. See what I can do about that.
Have you done the
Uh,
90 bucks stuff already?
no, I have not.
I'm
I'll
not sure
just
how
feed
long
that to
that
you.
will take, like for them to say confirm your registration. I kind of forgot some of the details, but
Oh, it takes a while.
I
Okay. It's
maybe
not like
just one day I think. But the one thing is important. You kind of need to submit the text form as well. I forgot what
text
it's called.
form.
I forgot what it's called already. The oh no, what's is 11 something? I forgot what the name of the text form is called. But you need to submit that one.
11,
I forgot what the
11.
name of the form is. Yeah, I could have gotten it completely wrong.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
but I
I'll
believe
ask
you
some of
can
my
do it.
friends who did it.
Yeah. I think you can do it through the web interface that Steam provides. It should be fine.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, Masan says John not here today. Yeah, he's got headache. He's got headache today.
Yeah, John's got a headache. He'll be back next week.
Yep.
Yep. So that's it, right? You'll be doing
Uh,
the Steam stuff,
I'll try to do
the
the Steam
levels.
stuff by today if I can, so that I can actually start testing this stuff out. But yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
that's cool.
that's my goal. That and 2 levels, and trying to get try and make it so that you don't have to use the command line to go between the levels. Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I got
Cool.
command line in my one. Yeah. And yours as well. Yeah, actually, now I think about it.
Yeah. Look forward to your 2 new levels. Yeah. And in my
Yeah.
case, I'm just gonna be addressing more of the playtesters' feedback, and
Mhm.
hopefully more levels, and yeah, I hope to show you more next week.
Yeah, it seems like it's really shaping up. Like,
Thank you. Yeah, I
I
aim to
mean,
release it in June, but I'm not sure
in
if
June.
I'm on track or not because I still don't have all of the mechanics I want in the game. Hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but we'll
last
see.
1% is like, yeah,
Yeah, last 1% is sticks forever, right? Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Shall we call it?
yeah. Let's call it.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks for
Uh,
sharing. Always look forward to it.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah.
think
Hmm.
yeah. I'll disconnect for now.
Okay.
Bye
Sure. Thanks. Bye
bye.
bye. Okay. Thanks everyone for hanging around. I'm sorry about the weird lag. I'm not quite sure why it's so laggy. Maybe Discord is a bit of a memory hog. Not sure why. But yeah, I'll see if I can fix that for the next one. And hope to see everyone again soon next week. Hey, thanks Amanda. I'll be back to work again on Jam Joboa very soon. Bye bye.